Three, two, one. All right. So to do the kind of like a geographical special effects kind of 80s thing in Illustrator CS5, students can choose the polygon tool. There's some tools it'll work better with and some not. I mean, you can do it with star. You can also change the polygon tool so that it has more or less sides. And I'm going to hold the shift key so that it gives me kind of like this perfect hexagon. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a sextagon or whatever it is, six-sided. And to get it to do the effect, I think, that we're looking for is we can simply go up to Effects, click on the object, go to Effects. I apologize, my CS5 looks like it's messing up a little bit. Go to Distort and Transform, and then Transform, and click that. It'll give you a transform panel. This transform panel is a little older looking than the newer transform panels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the scale. I'm going to put in 92 here and 92 here for the horizontal and vertical scale. And I'm going to also move it by the same amount, 92 and 92. Oh, maybe I'm not. Angle, I'm going to change it about 10%. Copies, I'm going to say about 40. And let's see, I'll turn on preview. And let's see if it'll. Okay, so it's this curvature right here is super important. I'm trying to remember what I made it last time. Let's see. Nope. Look at what it's doing already. Look at that. Oh my god. Okay, I want you to go on the inside though, dudes. Why are you not going on the inside? I should be able to make you go on the inside. Oh, maybe it's my angle. Oh, I know what's wrong. Okay. So this is super important. It was doing what I wanted, but you can't see it because the fill is on. So watch. If you click none, make sure it has no fill. It should have a stroke on it though. And then repeat that process. You're like, Paul, you're not, it's not working. It's working. And you just couldn't see it because there was a fill. All right, so now I'm going to put in 92 here. 92 here. Angle, I'm going to do just a little bit like 10. I'm going to put in 40 copies. Turn on preview. All right, so look, it's doing it on the inside. We couldn't see it because the fill was on. You can't have a fill when you're doing this, which does promote a problem because then you have to think about how to get the color in the background. But let's deal with this first. So when I click OK, it will now render this into the shape. And you can mess with it because it's basically like a pre-rendered thing on the inside. So if you take the white arrow and you grab one of these corners and you move this one of these corners by clicking on it and making it solid, you can alter it. I don't think you should do that though because it gets rid of the geometry. Now the coloring part of this is the harder part. If you just pick another color, it will change the color of the whole thing. But if you want a gradient like they do in the video, it's a little bit of a problem. You can't put a gradient on a regular stroke color in CS5. Instead, what you'd have to do is you'd have to outline the stroke on the object. So to do that, I'm going to make the stroke a little thicker. Like maybe I'll make it 2 points here. You can see it's a little bit thicker. And you can even put it back to black or whatever if it's easier to understand. And with object path, right, there's outline stroke. You click outline stroke. And what that does is, I know it made it a little bit lighter here, but what it does is it now takes all of these strokes and turns them into their own object. In fact, if you look over here, it's making it into this complex compound path. You'll see that the stroke is now off, even though it looks like the stroke is on. It's not, because now this fill is now acting as all these colors of these black lines. The fill is now actually the stroke color because I used object path outline stroke, which then took the stroke and turned it into its own object. So now if I click on the color black and I go to the gradient button here, right, and I click gradient, you can now put a gradient on it. So check this out, right? So it opens the gradient panel. I mean, you can make the panel bigger. And if I double click on this paint stopper and I pick like yellow, and then I double click on this paint stopper and I click like red, you'll see that what it's doing is it's doing some darker red going to orange and then hitting some yellow. So it's actually gradiating inside of itself, which is really kind of crazy. And then to get this thing to pop, you're going to need a background. So it's a good chance to show them a simple, like how to make a rectangle or how to show them a range, right? So I'll take a nice simple rectangle like this, whoops, and I will make it solid black, get that kind of like 80s neon look to it, right? Whoops, I'm sorry, solid color black. And then to send it to the back, they can right click on it, right, and choose arrange, send to back, or you can show them that arrange is up here under object, arrange, send to back, and I'll put it behind there. Bam, instantly beautiful art. And if they want to get crazy, you know, you can tell them to make more than one of these, or they can even copy this one, right, and paste it, and then rotate it right on top of itself. Maybe hold the shift key and rotate it half a degree, and then put it on top of, right back on top of itself. I moved it off of itself by accident. So now I'm kind of, there we go. All right, so now that's a totally different look, right? Here it is with one, here it is with two, okay? So, and if they want, they can select this new one and change the gradient color a little bit. So if they double click here on double click on gradient right here, that will bring up the gradient colors, and they can go to the next round. Like they could go, I don't know, purpley color to like neon blue or something, right? Okay, and then that's just increasing this sort of like 80s craziness. All right, so that's basically what we're looking for. And it's pretty cool. It should work in the CS5. I'll try it in the lab if I get a chance tomorrow.